The last we left off and saw the God of Thunder, Thor kept his promise to protect the young daughter of 𝘠𝘩𝘅𝗪. And for those of you who are curious if there was more to the story, well, of course at the end credits scene we saw 𝘧𝘠𝘰𝘶𝘵 being introduced, and what they will do with that, well, that's what we'll be talking about today, along with some details about a potential plot to Thor 5. New details reveal that Chris Hemsworth's possible Thor 5 will feature a villain that is more powerful than Hela. On Titan's upcoming Thor Love and Thunder, the official movie special book, which will be released on September 19th, Thor Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi talks about Thor's MCU future and what it could entail. Thor 4 has us deal with interesting emotions with a death and switching between comedy and a darker tone, which are two things that are hard to inquire into one storyline, possibly the reason that the film didn't get as much recognition as expected. While Thor 5 has yet to be confirmed, Waititi already appears to have quite a few plans in motion if the film moves forward. The director also revealed that there is one aspect that he thinks is more true to Thor than any other MCU character, and that is the mythology that he originates from. One of the obstacles in Thor 5's story would be a villain that's stronger than Hela, as Waititi thinks they have to be somehow more formidable. With him saying, what is left to do with him? It's got to be something that feels like it's carrying on with the evolution of the character, but still in a very fun way and still giving him things to come up against that feel like they're building on the obstacles that he has to overcome. I don't think we can have a villain that's weaker than Hela. I feel like we need to step up from there and add a villain that's somehow more formidable. We can also hear from Chris Hemsworth from a later interview regarding what he thinks is left for his character.
I've said this before, but when it becomes too familiar, I think there's a risk of getting lazy then, because I know what I'm doing, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm even invited back, but if I was, I think it'd have to be a drastically different version.
Yeah.
Tone, everything.
In another interview, we can hear from Taika Waititi and what he had in mind, or at least what he said at the time, shortly after Thor Love and Thunder was released.
You have said that you will make Thor movies with Chris until the wheels come off, so to speak. Can I pitch you some titles for the next Thor films?
I feel like you're going to do it anyway.
Well, yeah. All right.
Go on.
How about 𝘖𝘓? What a classic Thor adventure, hurrah.
𝘖𝘓?
Yes, 𝘖𝘓.
𝘖𝘓, what a classic Thor adventure, hurrah.
You missed a trick with Thor.
Thor 4, more Thor, for sure.
And when you hear him talk about this story, and if you have seen the behind the scenes moments, it's apparent that he really loves and enjoys being on these sets and not only working with this character on paper, but working with Chris Hemsworth, and they enjoy each other's company to the point where he said he would work with Chris again and on this story until there is no more story to tell. So even though a Thor 5 seems like it would be a lot, it's still very possible and seemingly now very likely considering what's being said now. Waititi was unaware that the tagline "Thor will return" was added to the end of the film, stating that it was a surprise to both him and Hemsworth. Waititi was open to directing another Thor film if Hemsworth was also involved, stating that the story would need to be something surprising and unexpected. And speaking of Chris Hemsworth, if you don't remember on episode 5 of the show 𝘠𝘠𝗪𝗏, he was working on to track his health and monitor it and show his audience it was seen that he had inherited genes that make him more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. Because of this news, Hemsworth stated that he wanted to take some time off from making movies because he would like to spend more time with his 3 kids. Hemsworth told Vanity Fair in November 2022 that he was concerned that making several movies would lead to fewer opportunities to spend time with his children. At the same time, his filmography spells a different story, as it looks like he is working on 2 different movies right now. 𝘧𝘠𝘅𝗪 and Transformers 1, one being the voice of Optimus Prime, but the other in post-production as of now, being a post-apocalyptic action-adventure film directed by George Miller. Given that the word of a Thor 5 is just out there now, it's safe to say that this film is in very, very early stages and probably not even written on paper yet. So even after the films that Hemsworth is working on now are done, he could still have some time off before the story is finished, and he could begin to work on the sequel again. Waititi believes that Thor's unique qualities make him more exciting to follow on space adventures than human MCU characters, saying, "So there's a fun element to him and he has a casualness and a sort of swagger about him when he visits these worlds and encounters these aliens that I don't think you'd get when it's an Earthling traveling through space exploring the universe." But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What are your thoughts on this, and do you think it would be a good idea for them to make another sequel to this franchise? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.